Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Calmlands, and this is the... Oh, why is that not making a field? There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Farming Simulator. This is the One Tile Plus, the now extended version of the One Tile Challenge here on Calmlands. Man, where did we leave off in the last one? The last one, I think I was just about to mow up all of the grass that we had purchased, and the plan was to get it all baled and wrapped and put away. So that has happened. Man, look at what is going on here. This I don't think I've seen it that bad where it's delaying the the ground texture. Anyway, so not only did I go and get it all baled up, wrapped and stored, I've gone and got up early this morning and started cutting fields. So now don't worry, I did not go and do anything with the field up there because I want to hear from you guys to know what if you sadistic bunch of maniacs want me to get into vineyards at some point, or whether you're just going to allow me to stick with good old regular crops. So I'm not touching that hillside yet. We're going to call that the hillside field. But I have started to cut the other field. So I'm going to show you that in 2 seconds. If you notice, I also have only $32,000. So I've got myself right where I want me, almost broke. And that's kind of, I think, a good start for the One Tile Plus. Now, my debt when we left, so this is going to be an exercise in debt, I guess, because when I left you guys, I owed like what, $430,000 or something like that. Well, I now owe, the max that I could borrow actually turned out to be $600,000. That's what I owe. So I owe $600,000, but I only have $32,000. So I'll show you how that math worked out in a minute here. But I am curious just to see. So I have a worker here. I got this course. If you don't use Courseplay, I mean, obviously, I guess it's PC. But so if you're on console, you're not using Courseplay. But oh yeah, shoot, I knew it. All right, let's see about helping out here. All right, well, let's see if we can get the Fent to help. Not a huge fan of this. I think I might have mentioned something about regretting this decision, but actually, feels less sluggish right now. Okay, well, I'm gonna spoil something here if I don't show you. So let's show you right away why I'm broke. That's kind of why. So I went ahead and did some decorations, so you can see here. I mean, this is not why we're broke, but we have it's a little bit of more of a hospitable environment now, where we can go and grab a bite to eat, hang out with some friends, barbecue, smell some flowers, that kind of thing. Here is the Gaming Joy bulk farm field fill-up, where you got to pay bulk purchase prices for things like seed and lime and stuff like that. So that's right there. This is a modded version of the base game cow farm, I guess. I don't know, cattle barn. So the base game one you don't get milk, you don't get slurry or manure, I believe, but this one you do. So I've put this in here. It was like 80 grand plus landscaping. So this, I have room for 131 animals. Now, I may have to mess around a little bit in the background with the capacities because I can only put 60,000 liters of food here. And I think if I have 130 animals in here eventually, I'm nowhere near that, then 60,000 liters of food is going to burn really fast. Same with the straw. And then I'm going to get buried in slurry, I think. So actually, does it give manure? I have a manure pit over here just in case, but I don't see it listing manure there, so that's interesting. Maybe it doesn't give manure. Maybe I don't need the manure pit. So I have a fuel tank here. I did put 500 liters of fuel because I was running out, so I do have that there. I've gone and put roads through, so we'll see the network as we go here, but I've used the sort of road tool from Ola Holdor to put roads in. I got rid of I really never liked the Calmland roads, not so much where they were, but more how they were. I didn't like the way they did the roads, so I just put in the roads from Ola Holdor. At least I did that where I own, like the property where I own, because you see if you come down here, I think at some point here it changes. Yeah, there. That's where it changes. Lots of details still to fill in, but so here's nothing changed with this building, but I did go, here's all the roughly, if I sold all of this silage at peak, it's like 1.3 something million liters of grass fermenting right now. If I sold it all at peak price, I think it's worth about $198,000. So that's good news, but I do need some food for cows. So whether or not we're so broke we just go and we sell all that in the hopes that we're going to have some more silage, which I know we will, or whether we save some of that for the animals, to be determined. Over here, this is completely unnecessary, but I went with, so each one of these holds about, I think it's 125,000 liters of whatever. So I put 3 of them in. I think they were like $7,500 a piece. They are a little small in stature, but they do hold a reasonable amount. So I've got, 375,000 liters of capacity here. Is it great? No, I'm not totally happy with that, but we'll see. I always have such a hard time with the like auger or whatever this is, because as soon as I start going with the bigger silos, then I need the massive one, the massive auger. So we'll just kind of stick with this for now, and we'll see how it goes. I can, with this setup, still work with auto drive. Which is my intention, is to use Courseplay and auto drive together. So as long as I set this up right, I may put some markings down on the ground, so I know exactly what position to put this thing in. But we'll probably that'll be a thing over here. So I do have everything put away here. So what I likely will do once we get rolling here, so I have the square bale wrapper and I have the square baler, which is pretty much all I'm going to do now. So I don't really need the round bale wrapper or the baler. So we'll probably end up selling those today, which would be nice. Wouldn't mind selling this mower. This is absolutely going to be, we're going to need something far more substantial as far as the spreader is concerned. Remember, we've been using this to spread manure and lime, so that's going to have to change. So we have to do a little bit of trading around with some equipment, but we don't have a lot of money, so we'll have to kind of figure that out. Over here, I have a new addition, which if you picked up on the last episode's thumbnail, I actually had this in the thumbnail, but in that episode I didn't actually purchase it. So I've purchased this since the last time we saw each other. So that is that. It's like 120 horsepower. It was this. If you look at this was like a forestry model. So in the store, it looks like it has like a cage around it. But I like it because I could change the color. So I went with the John Deere yellow all the way around, and the black rims, some weighted wheels, and it's a great little booter. If you remember on New Frontier, I have a Deutz-Fahr that similar size and similar power that I use for ripping around. Well, that's kind of what this represents for me. I gotta wash it, but anyway. So and then speaking of washing, was this on the wall last time? I put this pressure washer here on the wall, so we can water the plants or whatever. Okay, so that is the yard, and that is a large reason of why I'm basically broke, because I spent all the money. But that's exactly what I wanted, or more or less what I wanted anyways, so it is what it is. So I went and I plowed that one field over there. That's about 18 acres, 18 point something acres. So I have that field over there. We have the what's going to be the cow area. And then over here, I've got another field that we just drilled in. Yeah, see the road network? I've kind of went a little bit crazy here, but I sort of like it. So here is a field. So we have one field, 2 fields. That is the west field. That's the north field. I'm currently putting in the east field, so that's going to be a pretty substantial field right there. Then what I'm almost certain I'm going to do is when we get the grass and the wheat off of our old fields over there, I'm going to make that one big field. So we'll have 1 field, 2 fields, 3 fields, 4 fields, and some cows. So as long as I get a crop that produces straw, then I'll be able to have straw for the animals. I need something that produces grass, so that way I can feed the animals and still make some money off of silage. And then really I have 2 more fields that we can do whatever with. And then when we sort of decide what to do with the hill over there, there'll be 1 additional field. All right, well, let me get this guy rolling here. I got to take care of this problem over on the hill, and then we're going to have to figure out a way to put lime in these fields. All right, so 4x4 for the win. That tractor made it up the hill, no problem. So I was a little worried that I was going to have to change my plan for what I was going to do with this field, but no, we can carry on. So we'll leave the Fendt to do that. We'll let the worker drive that thing, and we should be good. This grass, so So in regards to this field over here, we have grass and we have wheat. So the grass itself is in stage 3 of 4, so it won't be until April before we can mow it, or yeah, probably April. And then the wheat is still a couple stages, if I remember correctly, before we can do anything with it. Yeah, we're nowhere close. We're stage 4 of 8. So it's going to be a little while before we have everything in place here. I almost wonder if I end up mowing this in April and then it's May, June, July, or August before I can take the wheat out of the ground. We may end up mowing our fields twice before we ever get the wheat out of the ground. And at that point, we can go and expand the field and probably plant grass again. That'll probably be our grass field, but anyways, yeah. So that's what that's all about. All right, so I think what we're gonna do now is, I think there's pain in our future no matter what. I don't think I can avoid it because I've got to get I need the land data purchased, but I got to get that guy to finish that field. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably go and we'll get rid of the round baler and the round wrapper. The round bale wrapper. We'll get the small manure spreader sold, and then we'll purchase something else. There's a lizard spreader. It's like it holds like 5,000 liters, and it's like a 12-meter working width. I think it says 18, but I swear it's a 12 from some testing that I did. But and it's only $7,500, so we may purchase that. It's not exactly the tool that I want to use, but it sort of fits the bill right now for our sort of cash poor farm. Okay, so we got a $16 repair, and then we're going to take this up to the store to sell because you'll always get more money up at the store. I got to figure out if I can sell. I'm going to have the round bale wrap. So I don't think there's any. Something just flashed there and I didn't see what it was. Shoot. I don't think there's any reason why I'm ever going to need to be making round bales at the same time as square bales. I don't plan on doing round bales at all now. So I hope I don't regret selling this and the baler, but anyways, it is what it is, I guess. All right, so we're actually going to get $18,000 for this round bale wrapper, which is cool. I'm pretty sure that doesn't take into account the bale wrap that was in it, but so I'm going to show you just quickly the view here as we dodge some cars. Yeah, so you can see. Let's get on top of this. There. So this is going to look pretty sweet when crops are growing here. We've got this sort of gently winding farm road that heads down from here. And then we'll have, stuff growing on each side here as we work our way down to the distant farm with cows in the background, or the foreground of the farm, I guess. I think once this is all doing its thing, it's going to look pretty nice. This is kind of what Comlands is to me. I mean, our FS22 foray into Comland territory was mental. It was crazy. And that came with some pretty expansive fields. We're not going to get there. I don't want to put a tree in each of these, but that might be a bad idea. I imagine a lot of farmers try to take trees out so they don't have any weird problems, but we may or may not get into some additional trees. All right, so there's $6,300. So what was the first? Was 18? Was it? So 24.5 basically, I think, is what we're getting for the combo. So look at that. We're making money, folks. We're up to $56,600. A quick look through the used here. Look at this trailer. That trailer's 10 grand. I wonder what our trailer's worth back at the farm. Didn't I do this before? I bought the trailer we bought in the last one to pick up the bales was the trailer that we had originally bought when we first started the series, to only then change when one came on sale. I'm going to look at that, because if we can sell our current baler and purchase this baler and make some money, then we'll do that. So now we have the extreme sales mod on. So you're going to start to see stuff like this, where we got fertilizers and boxes for sale. Anyways, we're kind of going to keep our eye there, but we'll probably just use the bulk fill up. This header is a deal, isn't it? 8.5 meters, 2.7 tons, $16,000. Nice old tractor. Ooh, okay, there's a deal. So that Azaria Scout would allow us to take samples rather than paying a premium. We pay $6,900 now, and then we just pay for our samples rather than paying the team to come out and take the samples. Because I think each one of our plots is like $7,000 or $8,000 to take the samples. That's interesting. Okay, but I came here for a spreader. Dang it. Oh, we need some money there, kids. The other thing I might have done, did I put the financing mod on? I did. Okay, so when I said this is the series of debt, so we're going to probably make some dumb decisions and go into further debt here in the form of used equipment financing. But I don't need anything just drastic this second, but we will be open to using the financing mod if they'll approve us. I'm not sure whether our credit's any good, but if it is and we can be approved, then we'll get ourselves a quad track 715 case. No, we won't, but we could use this. We have some. We'll have to be doing some logging here to help ourselves at some point. But all right, I mean, there's 6,000 liters of lime for $200. I know I'm not going to be able to get lime that cheap out of the bulk purchase, so let's make a no-brainer decision right there. All right, so there are no spreaders in the sale, but here's a spreader here. So let's just look at this. Yeah, I guess there's no way to really make this look exciting. Let's just go with this. Okay, so we're not going to finance everything. We'll spend the $7,500. All right, there's our spreader. It's like our first purchase in the new world here. All right, so I'll be able to take 5 of these 6,000 liters here. I do not have the mod installed that was suggested. There's a mod where I can just pull up to sort of bulk stuff like this, hit the button, and it would just fill up whatever's there, but I don't have that mod installed. I do appreciate the suggestion, but I just have forgot. So I'm just hitting the button every time. All right, I want to get this put away. I like it more when the map grass starts to grow in between the road and the fields. I hate it when you mow everything and then you go and you put your fields in and then you got to look at it for a while there where there's literally no grass there. It will grow back. It just doesn't grow back right away. But yeah, we're gonna get this. We'll get this little 1 pallet of lime put. We'll put it down over here next to the bulk fill, and then we'll go attack the big field. I'd love to put this on a worker, but honestly, I think it's just us. I think we're the worker in this case because the amount of times. So I don't want to set the worker to be able to purchase lime because we're going to be using the this fill up here. I'm certain there's a way that I can use Courseplay with auto drive to have every time the worker needs to fill up to go back and fill up. I'm pretty sure I can do that, but yeah, I don't know how to do that. So we're just gonna go and probably regret things, but we'll definitely be using the help of the guided steering here. Exciting times. 11 kilometers an hour. We are spreading lime. Now, if I did decide to throw this on a worker, I am using these GPS lines, which is pretty much what the worker would use anyways. So we're not totally dead if I want to make a change. So, anyways, so we got a moment to chat here. Well, kind of a long moment, but anyways. So, in regards to what will happen here, as you can see, there's a lot of work to be done in the initial stages here, but our activities are kind of going to be spread along getting these fields prepped. So right now that's putting lime in. I'm not exactly sure what I want to plant in each one of these yet, to be honest with you. If I look, I think I want to put soybeans in one of the fields. It's a high value crop, but a low yielder from what I gather. I'm not fully versed on it, but I also understand that maybe I don't need to fertilize the soybeans because they sort of are their own fertilizer. I don't know how you'd explain that, but I don't need to worry about that. So that's maybe a cost savings there. I think I have an extended straw mod, so I believe I'll still be able to get straw off the soybeans. But yeah, I think I might want to do that, and who knows, maybe this is the field to do that, especially for the size of this field, because I'll be having to cart less for it if it's a lower yield. And then maybe the north field, the one up by the store, Maybe that is. I'd like to make one of these. I would really like to make one of these a cornfield, but I don't believe that I actually have any tools to plant corn, because I did talk in the last episode about whether or not I considered a corn dryer production, and you know what? In all fairness, I don't. While it is a production, I guess by the definition, I don't consider it a production because it's not. I'm not producing pallets. I'm literally just changing the state of corn from corn to dried corn. So to me, that's similar to grass to silage. So I if I'm gonna invest in my farm and put a corn dryer in, then that's fine. And actually, so on that note, I don't really know what to put in because there's the corn cribs, which we've been using over on New Frontier, but they're very slow. And I mean, they're very inexpensive. So if you want to put them in, I mean, they're literally, as far as a system, it's basically just a cage that you drop your corn into, and then the wind dries it for you. So there's no parts to it other than just like, screening and wood basically. So they're very inexpensive to put in, but also very slow. You're really relying on wind to dry your corn. So there's that. But then also I think we have other options that would look really cool. I just want stuff that looks like farmy. Like if you look from here, it looks like we have a farm, right? There's some big buildings. There's some silos. We're gonna have cows. It looks like a farm. So I kind of just want to be able to add, farm structures. So whatever that means. But I'm not sure what's available for a corn dryer. I think there's a cool like grain. Is it a grain dryer maybe that? When we get around this corner, maybe we can just take a quick look. Yeah, this thing would be an interesting addition. It's $100,000, but it would allow us to dry all of our crops. It would look really good on the farm. I don't have any experience with it, so I don't know whether it's slow or fast. And honestly, I don't know whether I probably have to also use propane is my guess. So there's some additional inputs there, but it would look really cool on the farm. And yeah, like I said, I mean, me drying my own crops and then taking them to sell, I see that as a reasonable thing to do when I'm playing with no productions. So yeah, anyways, all right, well, I think we can all see what's happening here. This is going to take me a little while, so I'm going to plug away, and then we're probably going to meet as we start the next field. I switched tractors here. So the International that we have is just brutal going uphill. So this thing powers. I was going like 8 kilometers an hour trying to pull this spreader up this hill. And then I just switched, and this thing is just pulling at, we're pulling at 15 kilometers an hour, which I think is the max working speed. Even in the regular, like, straightaways where it was flat, I think I was only going 11 in the other tractor. So this, I can see where the, capabilities are here with this, which is like what's going on right now. Yeah, so you can see where this is useful. So as long as I can keep my speed up, I don't have to try to like restart from a stop where this thing is horrible. It certainly pulls, and it's only got 230 horsepower, I think. So anyways, yeah, just thought I'd jump in and point that out because this thing's a bit of a beast. So obviously this guy's done his other field there. So I will mention also, I think I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm likely going to make this I think will be the soybean field. Then the field that was just cut, I think will be a corn field, I believe. The north field up there, I think we'll put oats in, and then we'll deal with those other fields over there as they come alive. And then once it comes time to plant them finally, maybe that'll probably be just our grass field over there. But so I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be soybeans, just a big old soybean field, corn field, and an oat field. Hopefully that works. I've had to fill up a couple times. It is about $700 and change to completely fill this thing up, so it's not cheap, but also, actually, I don't know if that's a premium. I have no idea. I'm just going to be committed to using that fill up over there, unless I see another deal in the store. But yeah, so we'll keep pounding away here. All right, this has definitely been a mission and a half. This reminds me of the early days of our foray into Comlands and the one tile challenge. One Tile Plus has proved to be a bunch of manual labor so far here, but that's all right. This is farming after all. So kind of cruising back and forth here has given me a ton of time to think, and that's never a good thing anyways. But so if you think about it, my plan is to put in, so I need a seeder and a planter, basically. So we already have a seeder. It's not the biggest. I think it's like what do we have, like a 6 meter working width, that case. It's like basically like a brick. It works though, and you know what, in all fairness, it'll spread it'll spread fertilizer and seed, or spread it'll put fertilizer and seed down, which is good. But yeah, so that we have the seeder. What we don't have is a planter, so we're gonna need that. So the soybeans and the corn can go in next month, right? So it's March right now. So in April we can begin putting those into the ground. So that's good news. So we have the ability right away to put the soybeans in. But actually, I should check, because not all seeders do soybeans, do they? So we're gonna have to double check that. So then we're gonna need some way. So I have a manure spreader. I think I've already complained about it being pretty small. We're gonna need some way to get an additional fertilizer for our corn. Anyways, I don't think we're gonna need it for the soybeans. And then when we sort out whatever we're gonna do with the oats, then I just can't remember when you put oats in the ground, but that also might be next month. Then we're going to need to fertilize that as well. So that's something we need to consider. I have a roller, which is fine. I have a sprayer, so we could go and spray the crops. That's fine also. Eventually I'd love to get like one of those giant sprayers, but that's not in our makeup yet. So the other thing that I was like, so I'm like, okay, well, this is all great. We're gonna put crops in the ground, and then basically we're gonna have to wait until they grow, which obviously that's how that works. But I think in the interim, we've got trees that can be cut down and can be sold. One thing that I was looking at and didn't realize is there is no sell point for wood on the map, but there is a sell point for wood chips. So I did mention that that is one thing we may consider doing. So I think I'm kind of don't have a choice. I have a choice. I could put a sell point down, but if I can avoid putting a sell point down, I will. And saying that, I'm going to have to double check for corn to make sure that if I do put in a corn dryer, and it may just be the corn cribs because they're so inexpensive, I just have to be very patient. But let's say I put a corn dryer in, can I sell the dried corn is the other question. I just want to avoid putting sell points down. So wood chips, that's fine. They are worth some money. Yeah, so wood chips in January, which is a long way from now, are worth $538 per 1,000 liters. If we need quick cash, we can obviously sell them, but it's a big hit to sell them now. But I think we may want to look at that. It probably, like, we have a good payday coming, and I don't know if it's going to be in April. It may be in May, where we make money off our silage. So if I do manage to secure a wood chipper, we may need to sell some of that stuff now versus waiting. But anyways, this is kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves there. The main thing is I got to get the rest of this lime put in. Probably that's it for today. So once we get this lime in, actually, you know what we'll get the lime in. I think there's a way. So I was looking at a couple things. We have some equipment. So that trailer, we're going to do a trade. I think I can sell the current bale trailer for like $17,000 or $18,000, and then the one that's on sale is only $10,000. So that's a good deal as far as I'm concerned. I wonder if it has straps, because it'd be nice to be able to use it for. Well, actually, I don't really need to use it for anything else because I don't have any pallets. So if it's just a bale trailer, we're good. I don't know how many bales it's going to carry, but I guess that's something we'll worry about later. So if I sold that, we'd make like $7,000. The one that's going to be kind of tough for me when I realized our international, it's worth like $50,000. I didn't realize how much that thing was worth. So $50,000. It is our loader arms right now. Now our small John Deere that we bought has the ability to add John Deere loader option, but then when I look at the John Deere loader arms, they look like they're all made for bigger tractors, so I don't really know how that works. I may have to investigate that or test that. I don't need anything immediately. If we do get a wood chipper, it's primarily a hand bombing ordeal, I think, is my guess. I'm not going to use a wood chipper that we've already used. Like we've got the one over on, well, the one in Poland. There's that one. It's pretty inexpensive, but we just used that, so I'm not going to do that. There's a Hazmat one or whatever. But it's like $80,000. But I think that might be. There's a Vermeer one, but I think it actually takes away from the amount of wood chips you get. This one that's like 80 grand. That it's a Hazmat or whatever. I think that might be the one we end up going for. But I'd have to kind of drum up 80 grand. In order to be able to start using it. So everything's going to be costing money here. I don't know. I'm a little all over the place. If I sold the International for 50 grand, could I find another option that has loader arms that's going to be less? Probably. I mean, this tractor seems like it's been capable of doing what we needed to do so far. I haven't really run into too many problems other than the fact that it's a little sluggish on takeoff. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to play around and see what we want to do. So we'll get this stashed away for now. Let's go grab this. Let's go take the manure spreader and. Geez, what if that's our only? That is not our only. I'd rather not do manure if I had to use this thing. We need a way to spread much fertilizer fast. Not this thing. This thing would be brutal. So we're gonna go sell. Let's go up to the store and sell this. Then we'll come back and we'll grab our bale trailer. We'll take that up to the store. We'll trade that for the other bale trailer, and then we'll see. We'll kind of do some math and figure out how we can get to this wood chipper. Because there's a lot of trees there. That's going to be a decent payday for us as we roll into the winter. My thought about using the used equipment financing, no problem, but. It's actually used. You can also finance new equipment, which I think is what we're gonna have to do with the wood chipper. But it's not cheap, and you got to finance the max term is. This needs no repairs. That's worth $2,300. The max term is 2 years. Here, check this out. Okay, so these are the wood chippers that are available to us that I have loaded anyways. So I've never used this Vermeer wood chipper, but I remember in testing somebody, and I can't remember who, determined that it actually stole wood chips from you to a certain extent. I don't know about this one here, but this needs 250 horsepower. This thing's got 230 horsepower. That means we still need our we still need our International. So how does this work? So if I took this wood chipper and financed it over 2 years, our payment's going to be like $4,000 a month. So I mean, that's not cheap, but I hope we can figure that out. Any missed payments will result in a 5% compound increase of the remaining amount to pay back, and the bank will repossess your vehicle if you don't pay by the end of the stated repayment term. So if I don't have this thing, okay, so I can miss payments, but I'm gonna see compound interest added to my total, and if I don't have everything paid off by the end, they're gonna repossess it. So that kind of sucks. But this could be our way to wood chips. So there's nothing much we can do else today other than let's just buy this. Okay, wait, before we do that. All right, I made a couple color edits. I added a couple bucks to the total, but in the end, we're going to be looking at this thing for a while. So basically now we're into a $4,200 a month payment, and I don't know. Yeah, okay. What the hell? We don't need that. All right, so for some reason when I connected to it, that the crane got excited, but I disconnected and then reconnected, I folded and then easy. Watch my new wood chipper. I unfolded and folded the wood chipper again, and then it kind of went back to its relaxed state. So, jeez. All right, so this is good. This is definitely something that I was figuring. I kind of thought we would just sell the wood, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, well, you know what? I really should be looking at chipping the wood. If I have the opportunity. We've done wood chips in the past, but it just works for us. But yeah, I'm kind of forced to do it now because there's no real option. So what is the time? It is 2:00 in the afternoon. Let's see how so we have a number of logs here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be hand bombing some wood chips here, I think. So let's see how this sets up. Yes and no. I mean, I have the crane, I guess. So if I parked up on the end of these logs, can I use the crane to feed this thing? All right, I gotta switch tractors, but then I also need a trailer here. So the other thing is too, I don't really have a place to store wood chips. I think we're just gonna end up selling the first bunch here just to get some cash, but let's see how much it actually gives us. So I don't remember the wood chipper we used on back in FS22 on Maz, but that thing tripled the volume. So if a tree had, 10,000 liters of wood in it, I don't even know how we figured this out, but you'd get 30,000 liters of wood chips, which was pretty dang good. I don't know if this is going to be the same, but if it is, that wouldn't be so bad. Also, assuming this trailer will hold wood chips, I can't see why not. Man, to think this guy was almost on the chopping block, but that 300 horsepower that it has is really going to come in handy right now. I don't know that I'm going to find another tractor. Like if I sold this for 50 grand, I don't know that I'm going to find another tractor that would be worth replacing it with. But before we get going on the wood chips, I said I was going to trade that trailer, so let's go do that. Yeah, so anyways, if with the rest of this day I can get to have done some equipment swaps, managed to get lime down in the fields. I really need to purchase the field data, but maybe what I'll do is wait until, I don't need the field data until it's time to put the seeds and fertilizer in, which is really, when we wake up in the next month. So I don't have to do that yet. So I'm going to just hold off on spending. I think it's going to, so if I pay this, and I'm going to pay the service because I was doing the math, I think it's going to be about 15 to 20 grand to, I think actually it's about 15, I think, to pay for the field data, where I'd have to spend $6,000 or $7,000, whatever that used Izaria was. And then it's gonna be a lot of samples. All right, so just looking here, yeah, this trailer is still available. So let's just run through this quickly before we sell our other trailer. So we can definitely auto load the bales we want. I've got auto loading bales here. There is an auto loading bales unrealistic capacity. I'm not going to do that. I don't really know how much that would allow you to put on anyways, but we'll go auto loading bales. All right, we'll just go with the basic wheels that allows us to get away with. That doesn't look very safe, but we'll go with that. Rear hitch pin. So you can put another hitch on the back of this. We'll go with the flat frame. We'll go with the regular. So I can get rid of the ramps actually, and it credits me $1,200, which is good. Okay, so $9,000 for this. Let's hope it works for us. And then our trailer, we'll repair it for $1. And basically we can get about $19,000 for it. So it's about a $10,000 pickup right there. Yeah, so let's just hope this thing works like we want it to. It's a good looking trailer, that's for sure. All right, off to a good start. It's a low, it's kind of a low attacher there. Jeez. That's not ideal. Maybe eventually, if we got a pickup truck, this would be good to, it would be good to, oh yeah, that's really low, isn't it? Maybe if we had a pickup truck at some point, we can switch this for the gooseneck attacher and then we can use that. But yeah, it's a great looking trailer. I'll give it that. Just not exactly sold on how it's sitting right now. Maybe one of the other tractors will have a low or higher attacher. And then we got a big old hitch sticking out the back of it or whatever that is. So yeah, I'm hoping this works. Okay, actually I just noticed an adjustment there. I can raise and lower. I don't know what this other thing is doing, but I was able to raise the hitch. But yeah, I was able to raise the hitch. So we actually sit a lot flatter now, which is nice. Yeah, because that didn't really sit with me well. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go park this thing back where the other one was. So that's done. Then we'll go and check to see what we can do as far as these wood chips here. So what do you think of the crop selection? Soybeans, corn if I can get a planter. Maybe I can't get a planter and I'm just going to end up sticking with a grain for this year, but we'll see. The only reason why I say oats is because you can kind of play that juggling trick. Oats and barley, you can kind of juggle. Yeah, look at that thing. So dumb. Oats and barley, you can juggle grass, right? All right, so that's just an aim for the trailer. Wood chipper's on. Okay, so this is like this is like one of the most painful things to do in this game, but it's also really satisfying when it works. So in a perfect world, I'm going to be able to just feed this in, and it's going to take the whole log with no complaints. But as we all know, we don't live in a perfect world. I don't want to end up chipping my own arm. Okay, so I mean that's not too bad. That one piece of wood gave me 7,400 liters, which seems excessive and fantastic. My bet is that if I cut this, yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just have to like cut something. All right, so we can see what kind of nightmare that I signed up for here. This is going to be a bit of a pain in the butt, but you know what? I think so. When I maybe in the future I can just take whole trees and do this, and that might work better. Give this one a little nudge. Come on, I give you a nudge. There you go. Yeah, the nudge always works, right? And it looks like it's filling up our trailer fast. So where am I going to store wood chips? There's got to be a silo that I can use to store wood chips. And this is probably a reasonable investment because, I mean, trees are a large part of what we have, and we're going to be probably chipping a lot of them. I can only imagine right now, and this is not a woodworking or a forestry pun, but I'm probably making a ton of cuts as far as the edit is concerned. You know, if you were really good at this is actually pretty slick. But if you have a substandard skill level like myself when it comes to stuff like this, then you know it's like more of the painful variety of activity. Hey, not bad. This is what I love about Farming Simulator. Sometimes you just gotta get a little closer to something, and then it starts to work. So that's 24,000 liters. So it's like 24. There's about for current price. There's about $3,000 there, but on high prices about 10 grand there. So definitely lucrative. I don't know whether or not I'm seeing any kind of like multiplier bonuses right now. In that, is it turning my trees into far more than they're worth? But yeah, I think that's interesting. So what else did we say that we were going to do here? Because I think this is going to be a bit of a between episode type job for me while I struggle with this machine, so we don't have to basically collectively laugh and cringe at my skill here. I think everybody says the same thing, right? I'm not alone. Everybody when it comes to doing, forestry work or crane work or anything always says how bad they are. Is that how? That's pretty standard, right? And that is 100% full. So 33,000 liters. Wait, what am I reading right now? Hold on. Currently, that's worth $323 per 1,000 liters because we're in March. I kept looking at the low amount. So that's like 10 grand, which is it would be around $16,000 if it was the fall. But if I took, I'm just gonna scan through here quickly to see what reasonable options I have for wood chip storage, but I don't think I really have much. Like, these are useless to me, holding 14,000 liters. Yeah, you know what? I think what I'm going to do, I might not worry about... So I don't think I'm going to worry about storage right now. If I can take care of this pile, maybe there's... If this load's worth 10, then maybe, maybe I got 20, maybe $30,000 worth there. Of which then as I generate income here, I can use that to figure out what kind of storage options I have. Yeah, okay, that's what I was... Here we go. Farmer's market it is, eh? This is where I got to get my auto drive routes down, but I think this makes the most sense. So, all right, well, I'm going to go get this sold over at the farmer's market. I'm going to make the drive. I got a couple things I want to check on, so we'll probably see each other over there so we can see exactly how much money I'm making. Not exactly sure if this is the right way, but there's only so many ways I can go here, I think. I'm hoping that I'm editing this down into something that's somewhat manageable and and reasonable as far as what you're watching, but we'll see. But yeah, if I can take that pile of logs, if we can chip that pile and sell it, and then find some type of storage, then we can basically, you know, work away at the trees that we have. We have more trees growing, and I can plant more trees, obviously, which is good. So that'll be a great supplement for us for our between crops kind of thing. We have when we roll into April, we'll have to obviously invest in a planter. We're gonna have to buy some seeds and some fertilizer. There's definitely some investment we're gonna have to make, but also I'm gonna have more grass to mow, more bales to make. So there's quite a bit of options there, I think, which is good. All right, so here is the farmer's market. Let's see what we're gonna get for this. I'm estimating around 10 grand, but my math has been wrong in the past. Will we get a bonus maybe? Will we not, because we don't have all of our fields tested? I don't know. Let's see. Good news is the dumping speed is pretty decent here. I always get it wrong anyways. I can never guess what I'm going to make. Oh, 10.6. So, I don't know, a little over 11.5 sort of thing. Yeah, okay, so I'm definitely going to do that. So what I got to do is I got to get that pile chipped up and sold. And then we'll probably... I know now, like, to take, so as I cut trees down, I should be basically maybe cutting them in half at the most, and then I can use that, you know, that wonderful crane arm there to help me move them into the chipper, which is fine. I can deal with that. I want to keep a couple things. I want to keep my eyes open. If we could, like, that international at $50,000, it's crazy to have that kind of money tied up into that. If I find we need a 250 horsepower plus tractor to be able to run that wood chipper. So if we did find a decent solution and I could afford it, then that wouldn't be bad. Oh, this is the wrong way, isn't it? Yeah, let's go cross country over here for a second. These are just grass fields, and I've got nice plush tires, so I'm not too worried about, you know, we're not wrecking anything. But I don't think there's anything else we said we were going to do, right? We're started with our wood chipping process. We've got the lime down. I'm not purchasing the field data yet until we get into the next month. We're going to need a planter. We're going to need seeds and fertilizer, but we can get that out of our bulk purchase. We kind of decided what crops we're going to put in, so that the next episode looks like it's going to be putting seeds in the ground and mowing, right? Another mowing fest. So yeah, there'll be a lot of productivity over the next episode, I guess, and then at some point there, our bales will ferment, and we'll know what we've got in regards to food for cows. When we have that food for cows set up, then we can start picking away, like buying a couple cows here, a couple cows there. Obviously, the sooner we start investing in cows, the sooner they start producing for us, and they start multiplying, which is ultimately what we want, right? Cows make more cows for us. I may come through because I think I can actually... I don't know, maybe I can't place those roads off my land. If I can place these roads off my land, I may go ahead and try to, like, you know, that'd be dumb, but go and replace all these roads over to the farmer's market. I will set up an auto drive route, so that way I can get workers to help me go sell this stuff, so I don't have to do it every time. I'm hoping that the wood chipper has some capacity. I remember in previous wood chippers, you could basically chip and then it would just store wood chips as you went, which was perfect. Yeah, so I think I'm going to leave that there, guys. I think we're going to go into the next episode knowing that we've got a bit of a game plan. So be prepared for putting seeds in ground, mowing, and you know, I can kind of talk about what happened with the rest of these. Yeah, look, that thing's already searching for us. I can talk about how the rest of the wood chipping went. Yeah, I'll try not to make too many more changes. I think, but yeah, this might have been a bit of a shock coming into this, the amount of changes that you saw in this episode, but just kind of the way it works sometimes, right? So anyways, this is what I'm going to be doing while you guys are doing whatever you're doing, and we will see you in the next one. And don't forget to let me know what you think about the am I vineyarding it? Please say no, or am I doing something else up in that other hill lot field or whatever we're going to put over there. All right, guys, thanks so much. I will talk to you soon. Take it easy, and goodbye.